All right, hello out there. I have. I'm gonna replace this map. I made some mistakes here, and I'm really glad I did because this map is even better. So what I did was I took this mistake. See this green vertical line? I put it on 12, but it shouldn't be on 12. The edge of our maps, right? The right edge of our map is green, and that should be at the edge of your page. Then the horizontal top of your map, at the edge of where El Cerrito is, that red line should be just the top of your map. So the top is red, the left is blue, the bottom edge of our map is black. So I took underneath this black line, I'm going to do a gray. I'm going to do a gray line here, just to remind myself that this is not going to fit. It's not going to fit on our. That's good enough. This is not going to fit on our map. Okay, so there we go. I've got my top border. Nothing to turn gray there. So this is it. This is our map. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However, remember, I'm going to take my eighths, because this is not eighths. Remember, this is sixteenths. So you'll notice that I need to add, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles, what I'm going to do is fold on the orange, and then fold the orange to the bottom. So now I've taken my eighths. If you double your eighths or fold them in half, they're no longer eighths. They're sixteenths. And I used gray to go across the top. And I'm going to use my ruler and my gray marker here. And so the gray line is on a letter B. So if you want to you can fold if you want to, and you don't have to fold. You can just draw a line, horizontal line on B. And notice I did my line, I lined up with my ruler B to B, but I stopped at the blue line because that's the western edge of my map. I think that's west. Now that I say that, I don't see a compass rose anywhere. The compass rose is the thing where this is north, right? And I don't see that anywhere. All right. Worry about that later. All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's not right. So I need a horizontal line here, and the color I chose there is blue. So I'm going to take my blue line, and much like this line, which is B, this is E. So somebody who is very punny might say, be careful, careful to draw your lines as straight as you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to write me a pleasant email and say, Dear Mr. Corcoran, I would not say no to a replacement map because I made some mistakes, etc. All right, so now we have the last thing before we start drawing all these streets. The last thing we're going to do is just double check that we have sixteenths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sure enough, we got 16 rectangles. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So I actually really like how they had, they did this 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. So I think I want to do that. I want to do, so what they say? Let's make our own A, B, C, D, E. Oh, wait a minute. A, B. Oh, wait a minute. I got an even better idea. I got a better idea. You know what we're going to do? We're going to use, I'm going to teach as much as I can in this grid. Okay. When you're doing, when you get into, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, you're going to get into graphing. And graphing is where, I'll use my other map for this. Graphing is where you do this. You have a center point, you have a vertical line, horizontal line. This is 0. And then if you want to go from here to here, that's positive 1. And if you want to go from here up to here, that's also positive 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this map. We're going to make this point 0, and we're going to have left and right. Ooh, this is going to be fun. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. That happens almost every day. So what we're doing now, what are we doing? What we're doing now is, so we have our 16ths. I'm going to start picking out places where things intersect. And I'm going to start, actually, now that I said the thing about the 0, the center point, right? I'm going to pick this arbitrary center point. I just kind of made it up. Our center point of this map is right there. So let me zoom in. So what is that? The center point is just above Solano, right? So Solano is below the yellow and orange center point. This Solano is right, I'm going to say it's right there. And then by the time it reaches the, oh, back up. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm looking at the center point here. That's my center point. This is Solano, so I find my center point. Solano goes from here kind of up to there, and then by here it like touches the orange line. Let me give you a bigger view. All right, yep, so Solano goes from right here, right, below the center point. It goes from here to there to there. If you want to use a ruler, you may. It's sort of straight. Yeah, it's pretty straight. So I'm going to go something like this. Bob Ross taught me that. If you make noises when you draw, if you make a mistake, it's less problematic. So I think that's Solano, right? That's pretty good. So Solano is below the orange line. It once it hits San Pablo, so that's the next thing I have to make is I have to find this in between red or pink, I guess this is, in between pink and yellow, not quite halfway, maybe there. Okay. So I've got the intersection here of Solano and San Pablo. All right, Solano running this way, San Pablo running this way, and San Pablo is also mostly it's a straight line, but if you notice it, this is San Pablo here. It kind of goes. Oh, that's actually nice. It kind of goes from where the yellow and the bottom meet. It goes from something like there, right? It goes from here to. It goes into El Cerrito. I'm going to say this. See this? This is San Pablo right here. So I'm going to say that's about here, maybe. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Again, I'm doing this in pencil, so if I believe rather, later on I do this, if I don't like it, I can just redraw it. All right. So the main thing we're doing, and we're not going to finish this, anytime soon. But the main thing we're doing is finding center points. The center point of Albany for us is this. I think that's Cornell. Oh, interesting. So Cornell, which I believe is right about here. Cornell's pretty close to the center point of our map. So where was I? I have Solano intersecting with San Pablo. And then once it intersects with San Pablo, it kind of goes down. And I'm gonna do it like this maybe. Whoop, there. So it goes like this, and then it heads down, and then there's the train tracks. Those of you that live, actually this is Albany Hill, right? So those of you who live in the Pierce Street apartments, or you know where those are, the freeway and the train tracks here. Those are just past the pink line. And so I'm going to say the freeway is here, something like that. And the pink and orange, nothing really there. There's there's a curvy street right there. And I'm trying to find where Solano. I'm trying to find the right angle here. Because it goes there and it goes to, I'm going to say halfway here. I'm going to say it's right there. And then it keeps going to here. Yeah. Let's try that. All right, so this line, something like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because the whole reason we're doing this is I want you to understand how difficult it was for people recreating maps when all they had was another physical map to look at, and the map might have been small. And you have a small map and you have to make it larger, right? So, what do we have so far? We have the road, or avenue rather, San Pablo Avenue. San Pablo Avenue, right? And San Pablo, Spanish name. San Pablo here, Solano. Okay, that's all we really need, and that's where I'm going to stop. So this is, video 3. We're up to what? Over 10 minutes now. So video 3 is, you have your 16ths, you have San Pablo running vertical, which I believe is north to south, and then you have Solano running west to east. And that's it. We're just going to stop there. Once you get to this point, give yourself 2 thumbs up, do a little dance. I did it! If it was frustrating, say, it was frustrating, but I did it anyway. And then give yourself a high five. All right. See you later. Aloha.